Welcome back to my Q&A with Afromationz part 2. If you have not yet watched part 1, please do skip over, watch that first because you have missed out, and then come back to part 2. And if you have watched part 1 already, part 2 is coming at you in 3, 2, 1.
The bleach only took to my scalp, meaning my hair stayed jet black, right? And my scalp was ginger to the point of where you didn't even need to part it to see that it was ginger. At the time, even though I was still straightening my hair, it was still like a decent length, like shoulder length-ish. Within the space of about 6 months, it dropped out. My friend's hair dropped out. Two things that I must say is that I've noticed that when I go to hair salons, I know that it's going to go wrong. When they make a comment about my hair texture, when I went to these 2 hair salons, both of the, what do you call them? You wouldn't call them beauticians, what do you call them? Stylists said to me, oh, you know, have you got Indian in your family?
But how is that even relevant?
I don't know. Or you've got coolie hair, and then like I've kind of learned that some people are used to the term coolie and they don't mean to offend you, and I can't be bothered to go around correcting people. The next time, well, I won't go back to hair salon because I feel like I do my hair better than anybody else. But when I've heard those comments, that should have been an indicator for me that they were going to my hair. And me with my stupid self let you with your vibes, your bad vibes.
Your bad mind,
and then you put your hands in my hair, and that's what my hair chopped up. I'm lucky.
That's what I feel, you know. Yeah.
I'm lucky, you know, that anytime that my hair's been damaged, even like my hair's falling out now, probably different types of stresses, that it grows back. But you know, I've had some traumas. Yeah. I've had some bad experiences. What about you?
I had a bad experience. I've had disappointing experiences.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
I felt that.
So, like this, I think the one time was when I recently cut my hair into a pixie, and I was straightening it, and I think I had kind of resided to the fact that, you know what, it's not always going to revert back to my original like tight coils, but
so you straightened it.
So I would straighten it, but then to keep the style, it had to stay straight. Because I could wear it curly,
but it's not the same.
Yeah, and it felt like, because I wanted a pixie, because I love short haircuts. So I wanted a pixie so badly. It was one with like a longer graduated front, but it was a crop style. And I loved it, but the only way I could wear it that way is if I straightened it. So I said, okay, look, Davina,
it's still natural.
So just keep pressing it because it's still natural, it's not relaxer. But of course, everyone looking at it is going to think that it's relaxer, and I felt like I was doing my natural self a disservice. But anyway, I love the So it's like I love the haircut, and it was beautiful. Like I just was in love with that haircut.
I remember seeing a picture of it
with the little kind of I loved it. And then it grew out. It grew out quite a bit to like a bob. I said, right, I want to take it back to that cut. Nah, it couldn't happen again. That magic wasn't created again.
It never happens again.
No, it didn't. Like it was a lovely cut, but it wasn't that same cut, and it didn't suit my face in the way that it should have, that I envisioned it having. And same with braids. I remember one time I think I was in a rush, and I think the best thing to do is to never make a brash decision about your hair when you're in a rush. And so I did, and I went to this place to braid my hair because I had to get it done that weekend for whatever reason. Did it looked like trash, and I took it out the next day, and I spent £70 on it, so 65, 70, something like that. Took it out the next day because it was just trash. That was disappointing.
Like, how bad can braids look though?
It's how she did it.
What do you mean? Like, was it fraying? Was it dropping out? Was it?
It wasn't. It's like my hair wasn't braided into the braid properly.
Oh, so your hair was kind of fraying through.
Yeah, it was hanging out, and then too, the plait was a bit jiggly jaggedy, and then the bottom wasn't feathered
there wasn't
out.
Like a consistent.
Yeah,
I know what you mean. It's kind of like
lumpy
it's kind of like when you're catering someone's hair, then you change direction, and then they're moving their head, so then the caterer just looks
exactly
that. Gully.
It was exactly that, right? So I was just like, ugh, I don't let anyone do my hair. I had a stylist friend who did it a couple of times, and that was fine when she did it, but then when I did it on my own, anyone else thereafter, I'm just like, you don't know how to do my hair.
You do Locs at one point?
Yeah.
Professionally?
Yeah.
I thought so.
And then so from that point, I'm just like, I don't want anyone's hands in my head. And like even now, starting the second set, I still don't really want anyone else's hands.
Yeah, I'm the
in my
same.
hair.
I want to be responsible. You know, if my hair falls out, that's something that
On
I've
me,
learned.
yeah.
Though, unless you're doing braids, you're not even sewing weave into my head. I don't trust nobody.
Yeah, the weave I did myself because I had one weave done and it was so tight, my sides were just, you know when you can just feel.
It gave you the eyes.
Yeah, but not even so, like I felt like one by one my follicles are popping like pop, 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 like how a seam pops out. That's how I felt, and I had to take it out that evening because so I put it back in myself. And that was money wasted, and you're just like, you know what, I'm kind of done with these disappointing experiences.
It's probably better to just learn about your hair, learn how to do your hair. That's it. Don't invest in someone else for your hair anyway. You know, like, I know that sometimes there might be events and then you want to do a style for that, but
I feel like I think the real thing is it's so hard finding a stylist. A hairdresser.
You got to avoid with them.
Yeah, it's really hard finding a hairdresser who knows hair properly and knows clients.
And the main thing is listen to you.
So we are now going to answer this question, which I think is probably really important in a lot of people's hair journeys. Is how confident have you been wearing your natural hair?
Alright, so I've always been quite comfortable with wearing my natural hair. You know, in school, obviously, we weren't really a thing until like year 11. People started to add their little tracks to the back of their hair. I've always been quite confident. I don't know whether that's because my mum never put a relaxer on my hair. I know one of my aunties straightened my hair once. My mum wasn't really too happy about that. But I've never really had a complex. Now that I think about, now that I'm older and, you know, I've worn a few wigs, see, this is a discussion that I've had with my partner as well, because I know that some men like have a problem with wigs to a certain extent, and some men prefer if their women, you know, rock their natural hair. My thing is that I've never had a complex with my hair, so when I put a wig on, it's a protective hairstyle. When I take it off, I'm cool with taking it off. Do you know what I mean? And I think that for wigs, I think it could be detrimental to some people that never want to show their hair, like scared for their hair to see broad daylight. So I've never really had that issue. But then some people have brought to my attention quite recently that maybe I've never had an issue because I have curly hair. But then, you know, if you pick it out, it's still an afro.
But it's different.
But it's different, and this is the thing, because I know, I believe that I'm pro-black in it, so I would never, like, you know, I say, like, I'm a dark-skinned woman, and I'm not scared of, even, like, I live in a predominantly white area, and I'm cool with walking around with my head tied, and I'm just okay. Like, I know that I'm conscious of these things when I'm doing these things, but I will still do these things, do you know what I mean? So, I've never had a complex, but I don't know whether that is because of. But as much as I don't think that my hair texture is like what can I say? How can I say? Like I don't.
But it is a lot. You
I know
have
people desire.
That's it. You have the desirable curl for you still black, girl, don't worry, you still but it's like you have like the desirable twist out kind of curl, like so when you have the natural hair bloggers and they're doing their eco styler twists out or their sheer moisture twists out, your outcome will be the desirable outcome, as opposed to someone like me who has like I haven't really got a curl pattern per se. The back has, but the front is very kind of like zigzaggy. So the most curl you'll find is when I've just washed my hair, like a little something, and then by the time it's dry, that's just frizz. You know, or you have those who have much tighter coiled hair. As much as there's a lot of like shrinkage, because once it's stretched out, it's longer, but it is still very much, for lack of a better word, rough. Let's just use that word, the rougher hair textures. And so, as much as someone might be of a darker skin complexion, you might find that a guy might give it a blight because you've got the good hair. Like, you can't run from it.
See, now I know, because this is the thing, and this is what really like breaks my heart, and it sounds like I'm being deep, but like I remember hearing comments when I was younger. It would never be like in front of my mum, but it might be like an event where there's like some family members or some friends or whatever, and it'll be like, oh, well, you know, she's dark skinned, but she's got
good hair or nice hair. Yeah.
And I'd like to believe that I didn't pay attention at the time, even when I was young, like when I was like 10 or whatever. I remember when people made those comments, it made me feel awkward. It made me feel some type of way. I knew that I didn't like it. There was something that wasn't right about it. But yeah, like when I think about all of my sisters, we all have completely different hair textures, completely different hair lengths, and we always did each other's hair, so like I'm comfortable with like doing different hair textures and all of that. But yeah, I'd like to believe that I'm just comfortable with my hair.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
I would honestly.
Which you should be. You know,
yeah.
But I think like with me and because when you say about the relatives, that's very much, I feel like it's very much a West Indian thing, because my sister and I, like, she's of a darker complexion, she's about your complexion actually, but she has I think even your hair texture too, whereas me, as much as you have like the light skin side of it too, but my hair texture is completely different. So the whole idea was, it was the hair. It's always about the hair. Never mind complexion, it's about the hair. So I always felt a way when, not my parents, but people outside who aren't even relevant are there putting in their 2 cents. Oh, look at her pretty hair. And I don't have that pretty. Well, I felt I didn't have that pretty hair. And even though my mum never ever made a difference between us, I felt away from what I was seeing when the brush would just run through it to the brush running through mine. It's like I felt like my outcome, my even though we had the same set of braids, I always felt my braids were different. So, you know, so like it even went as far as to even as far as like when she was sleeping one day, I just kind of like snipped just the end of one plait, just a snip, but then I thought that's not enough for anyone to notice. I just did like 2 more snips. Literally, okay, if the braid was this long, I took like this.
To do what with it?
I just kept it. No, because
shut this.
So mum is obviously gonna notice a blunt edge. So my mum knew it had to have been me. So mum was like, "What happened to when your sister's hair?" I'm like, "I don't know." She's like, "Does he know?" I'm like, "I don't know." She's like, "Bring me the hair." She said, "Bring me the hair." So I brought her the hair because I put it on some shelf somewhere because I thought if I put it in the bin, she'll find it for some reason. So I just put it on the shelf. So yeah, so things like that. But then getting older and then realizing, you know what, my hair is beautiful, and I think it was around that 6th form time. Like, my hair is beautiful, my hair does what I need it to do. I'm growing out natural. I've got my afro, like it was cute. And then, but then I think so I was confident about it, but I think other people who make you question it a lot then are men, boys, let's say, well, men, well, whoever at the time they were boys, because they were like 17, 18, and they would make you feel away because even, do you know what, it's not even that my hair didn't have a particular texture, because it wasn't even braids, you know, because I feel like if it was in braids they would just kind of like accept it as, you know, but because it was either a smaller afro or they were very small twists that I would wear my hair in, and you don't get the attention from the type of boys you would think you'd get attention from. I would more get attention from like older, and that sounds really nasty, but like older men, because too I look quite mature for my age as well. So you found like older men who appreciated hairstyles or natural hair, or just like a black woman, they appreciated a black woman in general. I would more get attention from those people than I would get from younger guys my age or slightly older. And I found that as my hairstyle changed, if I wore braids, I'd get attention from one type of guy. If I had,
that's another thing,
if I had a weave in, I'd be getting attention from all sorts. And if I had my locks, well, it was pretty much just those rasta men that really were paying me any money.
It's funny you say that, because I was speaking to my friend the other day, and I was saying to her, do you find that people just assume that you're like the most conscious and the most wise person ever, like come to you for advice for absolutely everything?
Listen, I was getting called, I was getting called Empress. I was getting like, it became a regularity for me to be out there being called Empress.
See,
and you know,
I find that when I'm wearing my head tie everywhere, queen. When I wear my wigs now, it's the young pitneys that well, you were right.
Yeah, but we say it.
But literally, if I've got my head tie on, if I've got braids, if I've got like my hair out curly, picked out afro, whatever, some men generally tend to like even though obviously I don't need their attention because I'm in a relationship, but
Yeah.
they tend to sit down and have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're wearing like this blonde curly wig, it's they're just twisting their necks.
Thank you.
So
Yeah. No, like literally, like they would. And you know what? It's like they would give you that space, they would give you that respect, which was funny because I'm thinking, if you only knew that I do eat pork, and so
every day,
right, every day.
The thing is,
but then I found that when I cut my locks, and I remember I went out to, I think it was Brixton Splash at the time,
yeah.
And I was with a friend who had locks, and I heard this guy hail out, you know, Empress. I turned around because I'm like, oh, he's talking to me. And it's like, no, he wasn't talking to me. Because as far as he's concerned, you don't have the locks that deems you worthy of that kind of title. He was talking to my friends. I was no longer Empress. It took me a little while to get over that, you know.
What hairstyle did you have at the time?
I just shaved my hair completely off.
It's not you. But then some men like that as well. But it is
Yeah. I got told by one guy too, and this is the thing, when you have a strong haircut, like when you cut all your hair off, like this one, another guy I was talking to, he said,
you know, I love your, you know, I love your short cut, you know, short hair's not really my thing, but you're rocking it.
and I'm like, but why did you have to feel the need to say that?
It's not for you.
It was never for you.
It's not for you.
I do my thing for me all the time. But you can't say it's not really my thing, but I appreciate what you're doing.
I remember seeing on this girl, I can't remember the name of the woman, but she was talking about her experience from going from having perms to like long wigs down to her batty to rocking her natural hair, and she was saying that a lot of men instantly when they start talking to her, they talk to her like, you could be my wife. Do you know what I mean? Like, what are we gonna do together? How are we gonna live our life? What foods are we gonna eat? And she was just like, what makes you think that natural girls just want to be wives?
Thank you for joining us on our Q&A and listening to our musings while we had lunch.
Links to my page, Afromationz, on Instagram. What's your page?
And mine is BCL_hair on Instagram and also on YouTube, Butter Chocolates, and all links will be below as well. Please do like, comment, subscribe. If you have any answers of your own to the questions that we asked ourselves, you can put them down below as well. Just share, just so we can all feel kind of inclusive on our little thing.
If you've got any more questions, just this is an open space, so just be open and honest like how we have been. We didn't hold back?
No, definitely not. And then 2, if you would like to see us do this again in the future as well, another catch up, because that may be the only way we get to see each other, then we can do those as well.
How long has it been?
Years.
Okay.
6th form.
Yeah. Let's not bait up our age.
Over 10 years ago. Yay. Woo. So, hopefully it won't be another 10 years before we do this again. Right, see you later. Bye.
Bye. Bye.